So yeah, this is not the normal first day of school that a lot of people are used to. It is far from it. Not all boards are calling the kids back to class today, but some are. And we're spreading out across the GTA. So we have you covered this morning. Our Pam Seidel is standing by live in Peel region, while we have Brandon Rowe standing by in Durham region. And before we get to you both, we had Education Minister Stephen Lecce on the show earlier. He talked a little bit about assessment at home. So let's play that clip, and I want to get your reaction to this.
Obviously, encouraging parents to take so seriously the self-assessment tool. I know parents do this every year, but now more than ever, I would argue a very cautious approach. If your child has any symptoms according to that assessment tool, please keep your kids home.
Okay, so that's the Education Minister. Pam, I want to start with you. One, from where you are in Peel region, but two, also as a mom, putting the onus on a parent to ensure that the symptoms are being checked every morning. It's a bit of a difficult task.
It certainly is, but what strikes me is how things have changed since we were kids and, well, since my kids were little. If one of my kids said, oh, I'm sick, you wouldn't fall for it. And it's just one of the so many ways that this world has changed, and that you take that very seriously and you keep your kid home. Don't take any chances whatsoever.
Absolutely. And in Peel region, I know you were talking a little bit earlier about possible signage that might be put up right now, because a lot of people are heading to these locations and thinking, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it is going to be very stressful, I think, and maybe especially for those kids going into grade 9. And I think that's why here in Peel region, they have given all grade 9 kids these first 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, to go through their orientation and to prepare them and reassure them and tell them exactly what is going to be expected of them. And here in Peel, at the Peel District School Board, the masks will be required from grades 1 right through 12 and encouraged for kindergartners. So that's different from the provincial mandate, which insists, mandates masks starting in grade 4. So it's a little bit different. So the little ones are going to have to be wearing masks as well. And many of them will be used to that by now. But if they're not, this week would be a good time to start practicing wearing a mask. And then just prepare them for what will be expected of them when they get to school. They'll be asked questions when they arrive at school. They will be directed to walk a certain way and keep a certain distance. And, the hallway will be divided, so that they don't interact going in different directions. And, it's going to be, I think it's going to be very stressful and strange for kids. But I know the kids that I have spoken to who have been through the protocol did feel very reassured about the steps and the measures that were being taken, that they will be safe. And if you do get sick at school, they have isolation rooms. Every school will have at least one isolation room that will be thoroughly cleaned after somebody comes in. And so parents will be called and kids will be sent home if necessary. So obviously, as you say, Mel, self-assessment is key, and stay home if you're feeling sick. But if you do happen to get sick at school, you will be sent to this isolation room where you will not have contact with anyone else.
Thank you, Pam. And what will be interesting is Education Minister Lecce was talking a little bit about the protocol and where public health comes into play, whether or not a cohort would need to be quarantined. And so we'll get to that in just a sec. Let's bring in Brandon, who's standing by live in Pickering this morning for us. And Brandon, last time we chatted with you, I know the school bell doesn't ring for another hour or so, but the lights are on behind you. Educators are slowly starting to get in there and get prepped. Have you had a chance to talk to anyone about maybe how they're feeling when it comes to some of the safety protocol and just how different it's going to look and feel?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few of the staff that have come in. A lot of them are like everybody else. They're just kind of on eggshells, wondering what's going to happen. I wouldn't say they are overly stressed or anxious. I think they just want to get it started so they can figure out how it's going to work. But I can tell you that staff are starting to come in. I'm at Rosebank Public School, and staff have been coming in slowly but surely. And everyone that I've seen, all the teachers, they already have their masks and everything on. There's actually one of the teachers that's been here as early as we got here. And she's already set up. She has her mask on. She has a face shield. Kind of looks like a hazmat suit from afar. But she's all set up, ready to go to ask the students that come in all the precautionary questions, take their temperature, and make sure that they are good and ready to go to learn. But and that's just some of the precautions that this school and many of the schools in Durham region are taking. One thing that I mentioned before, and just kind of go in a little bit more detail, is the signage that's going to be around the school. A lot of it is going to be kid friendly, but signage that's going to let them know why it's important to wash your hands, the proper hand washing etiquette, also the importance of social distancing, because that's something that I know a lot of parents have been a bit weary about, wondering if their kids are going to adhere to it, and potentially that could start cause a spread of COVID-19 if social distancing isn't adhered to. Another thing is how to eat lunch safely. So there's a lot of signage that's going to be up, and hopefully to keep students here safe. I actually just saw a young girl across the street. We're going to hope to speak with her, but I asked her, are you scared? Are you pumped? She seemed like she's pretty pumped to get back to school. She goes to the public school behind me, so hopefully we'll be able to chat with her and hopefully her parents to see how they're feeling for the first day of school.
Yeah, a lot of feelings, Brandon. And you mentioned the kid-friendly signs. I don't know if you've seen the one that has gone viral that said, treat your masks like underwear. Change them regularly, don't share, and there's more other things to it. But anyway, if you hadn't seen it, it's a great one, and it really gets the message going. Brandon, thank you, and hopefully we'll chat with some parents and students with you coming up in just a bit.